Helluva Boss's new short just dropped, and it was certainly one of the strongest ones. The premise had me hooked immediately. Moxxie can't get enough screen time and development in my eyes, and having a hit job so close to home, of course it was going to be juicy. Because obviously this mafia boss and his son parallel Moxxie and his mob boss dad, and of course a comedy series has to resort to those classic mafia stereotypes, with the thick accents, stupid pasta-based names, and very unserious melodrama. It's also got this fantastic fun setup where Moxxie is hiding behind a statue pretending to be an angel, with the mafia heir Paulie really buying into it. Paulie is voiced by the writer of the episode, Lyle Raff, and he's able to make this douchebag of a character really likable.
I know that! What do you think, I'm a goddamn maroon?
The other big gag of the episode was really hilarious as well. It's a misunderstanding, which the audience can predict and is in on, while Moxxie very much is not. And his blind optimism sets up the inevitable backfire so well. But the real kicker is what it turns out Paulie actually says to the guys.
I told them an angel sent me and that they'd be meeting the angel soon, and they just fucking lost it!
Okay!
The whole thing is carried by Moxxie's voice acting though. Richard Horvitz gets really silly, busting out Zim for the oldie English talk, and even his Billy when Moxxie gets overexcited about killing Luigi.
Nobody looking for a dead man!
Which is also kind of good character comedy, because we know exactly why he's so passionate about it. Though, even if you weren't familiar with the character, you'd still get the gist from the fantastic character animation when Moxxie's sympathizing with Paulie's plights. The emotionality of the episode, in fact, is what makes it so strong. Having the dynamic of the father and son actually reverse Moxxie and Krim, instead of mirroring them, was a cool choice. It makes the episode go in a way you don't really expect. You don't get that cliche ending of both of them realizing they care about each other, and Moxxie wishing he had had that relationship with his dad. Luigi's speech to Paulie is one of the many examples of these shorts using their time wisely. It's touching, and Moxxie's response is heartbreaking. The blink and you'll miss it mention of how this guy treats the mother is a very subtle but very thoughtful detail. Moxxie's sorest spot is Krim's treatment and presumed murder of his mother. It makes Paulie's death scene, which is written humorously, feel quite dramatic and weighty, because you know exactly why Paulie throwing his father's love in his face motivated Moxxie to do it. And what really brings it all together is this brilliant Moxxie drawing. It's just a silhouette, but there's so much emotion behind it. So unfortunately, while I had a great time start to finish, I do think the end was a bit weaker than the start and middle, perhaps a bit unfairly because I think my problem does boil down to time constraints. I could have done with some more easing into the conversation Moxxie has with Millie. His
I think my dad is a giant piece of shit.
was a bit abrupt. That said, it manages to bring me around again. What Moxxie says about his dad after is simple, but succinct and impactful. And again, Richard Horvitz just nails it. He's such a natural comedian, but so capable of a sincere, sad performance. The expression work during the scene is of course as stellar as always. You can tell how much the animators just love these characters. Millie was also really sweet here. I will say that for some reason I found her cooing kind of funny. But I think that's on me, not on her. The loving, warm embrace she gives Moxxie is needed to sell the bittersweetness of what's happening here, because Moxxie realizing his dad didn't have to be so awful is in fact a healing thing for Moxxie. It's Moxxie learning that Krim was always the problem, and now he doesn't have to dwell on what could have been. It's also saying that although Moxxie may not ever have Krim, he's always going to have other people in his life who do care about him, and that he's still very worthy of love, which is further reinforced by the credits, which I do believe was a lovely bookend. I think it does have the potential to make the true end of the short sort of less impactful, because that hug was such a great way to end it, but me personally, I thought it was a nice touch. Quiet little domestic scenes are always going to be cute to me, and its role in uplifting you after a heavy episode is appreciated. And I also love how even though he wasn't physically there, it makes a point about Blitz being in his life as well. Their friendship is everything to me. Kudos to Lyle for a superb episode.